But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
That was fucking good. I'm kind of hoping, now that we got his official gaffy stick created, I wonder how many more flashbacks we're going to get. Because 2 episodes in, we haven't gotten too far, like, in the current day storyline. Which I guess that'd probably be my only downside to this episode. Because the flashback and all the action, all the story of the Tuskens are so good. But I want to see the current day story move along. But let's get to that in a second and rate this episode. Definitely better than the first. I'll give episode 2, The Tribes of Tatooine, I'll give that like a solid 8.7. I think I was debating on if I wanted to put this in the 9 range. But I think I wanted to kind of short it to the 9s a little bit, just because we didn't move the story along, like I said, in the current day much at all. We got basically more information on how he got his gaffy stick and how he got to where he is now, realistically, or how he was until we see him in Mando Season 2. I'm thinking they don't do all too many more flashbacks after this. If they do, I think they'll be shorter, because the flashback in this took up a majority of the episode. Because from about the 14-minute mark onward, so current day stuff was like a third of the episode or so, I'd say. And then the flashback of him taking down the train, teaching the Tuskens how to use the speeder, and then creating his own gaffy stick from that lizard that went into his brain, which was crazy, by the way. He took lizard LSD. But all that was amazing. I think there might be a little bit of lead up on how he got from creation of his gaffy stick to maybe finding Cobb Vanth, maybe a little bit there, and then maybe even a little bit more with Kamino, because there was even a couple spots when he was tripping on Lizard that he had a couple flashbacks to Kamino when he was just a boy. One was seeing Jango come back. One was actually when he was on Geonosis. He was looking at Jango Fett's helmet, and then in the reflection of the visor and the overall helmet, it was Boba's current face. His bald, tattered face. Overall, I think this episode was fantastic. I think everyone who complained about the first episode are going to love this episode, and then I think in the long run be fine with the slow start to episode 1. Because the buildup of him stopping Goro in the first episode to earning Tusken's respect, that's huge when you put it in context with this episode. Because if they did that too quick, then the complaints would be like, oh, the Tusken Raiders took him in too quickly. Whereas with the slower first episode, this shows why he gained their trust and started the story of present-day Boba Fett. And then this continued present-day Boba Fett a little bit, and then went to this awesome backstory. And honestly, not only is the story of Boba Fett in this scenario awesome, the information we're learning about the Tusken's way of life is amazing. It's so cool. It's so cool. I think one other downside is I thought we were going to get another crate dragon. I could have swore I heard it. I could have swore I heard the same exact sound that Obi-Wan made in A New Hope, and then the same exact sound that happened in Season 2, Episode 1 of Mando. I thought I heard it. I thought I did. But it was just a Pike Syndicate train, which still ended up being really cool, by the way. having the Pikes like run through and it's like, oh, we thought you were just like not bombastic, just uncivilized raiders. And then like Boba's like, well, now you gotta pay a toll to come through here. So like I said, I don't think the Tuskens will want money by any means. I think they'll want weapons, water, food, stuff like that. But yeah, I think this is a solid 8.7. And how many episodes are in Book of Boba Fett? So there are 7 episodes. So episode 7 will release on February 9th. So over a month away. A month and a couple days. So I think it's going to get crazy from here. Because the mayor was really interesting. I would probably need to watch this episode again to kind of get all the like jargon and just wording they were using, because I was kind of talking over it, so I kind of missed it a little bit. Just a little bit, though. So I want to go over that first interaction with the mayor. And then it seems like Jabba's cousins, who are twins, are trying to take over this area. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I kind of wish it was Jabba's son, so we have some connective tissue to Clone Wars. That'd be kind of cool, cause I'm curious if Jabba's son is still alive. And I think this would have been a cool way to reintroduce him. Now, I think the only problem with that would occur from that is if it was Jabba's son that was back in the story instead of those 2 cousins, is that more than likely Boba is probably going to kill the Hutts, or those Hutts are going to die in some way, shape, or form. So I bet Dave Filoni would find it weird to introduce in his first ever not Clone Wars, but Star Wars creation, to introduce this baby Hutt and then kill it years later. I think that would probably be an issue that Dave has with it, and then a few other people would have as well. But I think it'd still be cool to introduce. Maybe he gets introduced later. I don't know. But speaking of the Hutts, that Wookiee looked so fucking badass, dude. So badass. Oh, I could not get over it when he first showed up. Like, he was walking, then we kind of saw the back, and then we saw his front. So good. Oh my god. But I wonder what that Wookiee's name is. I wonder if that has any connection to Chewie or any of the Wookiees we know, like Tarful, who was like the leader in episode 3. I think it's Tarful was his name. But I think that's all I got. Great episode. Great episode 2. Great follow-up to episode 1. And we got a lot of good shit coming from Book of Boba Fett, I feel. So good. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. It'll give me more incentive to make more videos for this channel, and like the video if you enjoyed it. And may the Force be with you.